My name is Lydia from Convert with Confidence. I'm your host here in the group, and also for the summits that I've done in the past, as well as have coming up in June. So, want to welcome all of you to the Convert with Confidence group. This is the group for holistic healers and hypnotists who are maybe doing this on the side. Maybe this is more of a hobby for you, or maybe you haven't even started at all and you're doing a lot of trainings, you're getting a lot of techniques, but you're not really using any of this stuff, right? Like, how many of you are holistic healers or hypnotists out there and you're just like training stacking? You're just collecting trainings, techniques, but you're not really using them. You're not really working with people. You're not really changing lives yet. And maybe you're just focusing on your own, and that's great, but maybe eventually you want to take it and, scale it into a business and leave whatever you're doing now. So as we're getting started here, everybody on the line, just go ahead, let me know who's here below. Just drop in chat. Who do we have here today? Drop who you are. Drop what you do. What is your business? What is your healing power? What is your gift? And let's start the conversation. This will be a fun video today, because I'm going to go down a lot of the mistakes that I was making as a part-time hypnotist and a part-time healer or mindset coach, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I mean, we're healers here, right? So we're kind of coaches, we're kind of healers, facilitators, right? But in the end, we do a lot of coaching too. So who do we have here today? And also let me know, can you guys hear me okay? Give me a yes in the chat. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know, can you guys hear me okay before I get started? Let's see who we have here today. Woo! It's Tuesday and it's very gray and ugly out. But it's not gonna stop us. So guys, can you hear me and see me okay? Just let me know. A couple of times my mic has been on mute, so I just want to make sure. Can you guys hear me and see me okay? Give me a thumbs up, give me a yes in the chat. Yes, no. Maria says yes. Anybody else here on the line? Who else do we have here today? Who else is rolling in here? Who's watching? Let's see. Great to see Maria. Always nice to see you. Who else do we have here? And what do you do? What is your gift? What is your healing power? Go ahead and drop yourself in the chat and let us know who's here. And then we're going to go right into this topic of these were the biggest shifts and the biggest pivots that I made to actually that really, I mean, I use the word catapulted because it kind of did catapult. It kind of did catapult me. So Caroline, awesome to see you here again. Always nice to connect. And just making sure we don't have anybody here on their way in that I need to add in here. Okay, so we'll just let everybody roll in as we go. And so just a little bit of background, just to give you guys a little bit of context. I ran my holistic healing and hypnosis business on the side for about 5 years, maybe 6. And, I dragged this on for a long time. And by the way, this is not something you need to do. I'm not telling the story to tell you that you have to do this on the side for 5 or 6 years. That was simply me having fear and even really knowing that it was possible. Like, honestly, what I have found talking to other holistic healers was that they don't even know it's possible to make this a full-time thing. Like, do you feel like this is not possible for you? Like even if you're seeing others doing it, your subconscious still rejects it. Like, it's pretty amazing. Like, I used to go to these conferences, look around, people are doing this full-time, and I my body would just reject it. Like, no, not you. You can't have that. You're always going to have to be handcuffed to this other job. You're always going to need something on the side. And, I had the rug pulled out from underneath me last year, and I was forced to make a decision. I was forced to pick a road. And at that point in time, my hypnosis business was generating about $20,000 a month. And but I was seeing a lot of clients. Like I was seeing probably 10 to 15 clients a week, maybe even more some weeks. So, the revenue was good. I was kind of burning out. I was seeing a lot of people. So essentially I was full time. So I never went back to find another job. So just to give you a bit of context about where I was, almost actually 6 months ago. Actually, it's about 6 months ago. And I transformed my business in 12 months from making less than $30,000 a month to making over 100,000 in revenue in less than 12 months. Like I had to learn how to scale this quickly because I was planning on leaving my job anyway. It just happened a lot sooner than expected. So just a little context about where I've been, and maybe you can find yourself in there somewhere. But for those of you here on the line, how many of you are doing this kind of on the side? Like maybe this is part-time. Put part-time in the chat if you are just you're kind of doing this on the side, you're getting your feet wet, maybe you're doing a program or certification, and you're just kind of working with a few clients here and there. Maybe you're out there working with friends or friends of friends. And just go ahead and put part-time in the chat. Let me kind of know where you are. And even if you're not, like if you haven't started, just let me know. But if you have something going and it's part-time, it's a hobby, side hustle, whatever you want to call it, go ahead, drop the word part-time in the chat just to let me know where you guys are. And so, I wanted to debunk that myth first, was that what I found is there's a lot of skepticism in the healing world about actually being able to make this a full-time thing. And a lot of it's because of what we're taught. Like I was taught to sell by the number of sessions, and we might as well just jump in here because now I'm jumping in. So here's why first of all, I'm going to tell you why I had to make these shifts before I tell you the shifts, because if I just tell you the shifts, you're not going to see why I did it or why they're important for you. So before we jump in here, I'm going to talk about why I had to make these shifts before what the shifts actually were, or else it's not going to be applicable to you, right? Okay. So here's why I had to figure this shit out. Like I had to figure out the marketing. I had to figure out my niche. I had to figure this out because not only because I lost my job, but because I wanted to do this full time. I wanted this to be my only paycheck. I wanted to be a full-time hypnotist. Okay. So here's the problem. If you don't figure this out and you continue to do this part-time, you're not really focused, you're not really taking it seriously, you'll continue to live paycheck to paycheck. And this is what I did for about 6 years, is I lived paycheck to paycheck with my business. I had my full-time income coming in, but then my business could barely cover itself. So I had just enough to cover like trainings and travel, but I wasn't really taking it seriously. And here's the thing. When you don't take your business seriously, people, including clients and customers, will not take you seriously. Okay? So you will not be taken seriously. Your prices won't be taken seriously. And in the end, it's because you are not taking yourself seriously. This is probably one of the biggest pitfalls I see other coaches and healers fall into. It's just that you have all the processes, you have all of the funnels, emails going out, you're talking to people, but nobody actually cares about what you have to say. How many of you feel that way? Like, deep down you have some amazing gift, like it is, but nobody really cares what you have to say. Drop me in the chat if this is you right now, because this is a lot of people right now where like nobody cares, nobody's paying attention, nobody's clicking. It's just like you're just putting stuff out there and it's just going into like a black hole. How many of you guys are there, or maybe you've been there? Put me in the chat if you feel like you're putting out posts and emails and blogs and videos and nobody's taking any action. Nobody's taking action. And that's one of the hardest things to overcome, because we tend to take it personally. We tend to make it about us if people aren't taking action, and it really has nothing to do with those things at all. So just making sure I don't need to add anybody in here. Okay. So when you are not full-time, when you're not doing this properly, you tend to attract clients who are very general, meaning they're not really your niche. meaning they're not going to pay you high ticket or premium. And this also converts to low quality. They are uninvested. They reschedule a lot. They're late. They're not really getting results in the end because they don't take the work seriously. Do you see how this is like a domino effect? You see that? For those of you showing up a little bit later, go ahead. Just a reminder. Let me know who's here. I know we have some new faces in the group, so I don't like talking to a wall or talking to a screen. I would love to know who's here in the group. And then what's your superpower? What's your superpower? What's your magic? What's your magic? What's your gift that you have as you're dropping in here? Okay. And here's what happens if you don't know your niche and you don't know, like, you're not clear about your messaging. You end up throwing mud at the wall. You end up putting money into advertising and you're just hoping it sticks. You know what I'm talking about. This is why I had to change my strategy. I was just sending ads to a website. And I sank so much money. I gave almost $50,000 to Google Ads last year. Almost $50,000 to Google Ads. And it didn't have to be like that. Okay? My return was not the return that I wanted. I got a return, but it wasn't as high as it could have been because I didn't know all of these things I'm about to share with you. Okay? So if you're running ads now and you don't know really who your niche is, or your message isn't really clear, you're more of a generalist, then you are going to sink way too much money into ads and not get a proper return. This was the mistake I made. In fact, I've made this mistake a couple times. I actually, 6 years ago, I sank about 20 grand into Facebook ads, got none of it back because I didn't have my target audience. I wasn't set on my value, so I wasn't set on my prices. I didn't know what the heck I was really offering, and I wasn't confident in myself. So can you see how putting money into ads is not enough? It's not enough to have a strategy. If you're not confident, if you don't know how to sell, and I'm going to talk about these principles in a minute, there is no point into churning money into ads. And this is a huge mistake I see a lot of coaches and holistic healers make. Okay? So you'll continue to get excuses like you're too expensive. If you're a generalist, you are going to get excuses like that. If you're too expensive, I have to think about it. They just don't see the value. Okay? You'll be limited to, if you don't start putting yourself out there, you'll be limited to locals. You'll be limited to friends of friends and friends. Right? You're not really, I talk to a lot of healers and hypnotists who are only working with like people they know or people they know who know other people. Like you're not really bringing in new, fresh clients, right? So until you start putting yourself out there, this is how you're going to be limiting yourself. How many of you here, drop me in the chat if some of this is resonating with you right now? Like drop like me in the chat if you can hear yourself in here somewhere. Like, oh, okay, like this is kind of what I'm doing right now. Drop me in the chat if there's something I've said already that's resonating with you. Before we move forward, let's see what you guys are coming up with here. What are you guys coming up with here? What's resonating with you? What are perhaps something you're doing wrong right now? Maybe you're over relying on your website. I see a lot of this, and I did this too. Like my website was my business, and so in order to convert people, they had to go to my website. So I had to have a website, and my website, my copy wasn't clear, the target wasn't clear, the messaging wasn't clear. It was a generalist's website, and that's why I sank so much money into ads and didn't get a lot back. So how many of you here, how many of you here are running ads at all? Are any of you here actually running ads? Facebook ads, Google ads, what else is out there? Bing. Maybe you're running ads on Psychology Today. Like I did this. That was a big waste of time. Psychology Today. I don't know how many, if any of you out there have had results with Psychology Today, but that that was not at least my client niche. Okay. And here's what happens if you don't niche down and you don't make these 5 shifts is you end up grinding away. You're going to end up grinding and grinding and grinding. And I talked to a lot of holistic healers who are trying to see like 10 to 15 people a week or more like I was doing. And I thought I needed to do that in order to generate 10,000 a month or 20,000 a month. And that is not the case. That's not the case. Although it's what we're taught, that is not the way to go. I didn't want to see myself like a therapist. I didn't want to be like a psychotherapist. I don't want to be like a therapist. I don't want to be churning and burning a lot of different clients every week. Okay? And finally, because you're not taking yourself seriously, because you're part-time, you're treating like a hobby, clients do not take you seriously. They do not take your price seriously. And that's going to show up on your sales calls. That's going to show up when you're private messaging on Facebook, if that's what you're doing, DMing. It's going to show up on your copy on your website. It's going to show up when you talk to people, when you network on Facebook, in your posts. When you don't take yourself seriously or your work, people are never going to see your value, because that's really where it is. Because nobody can trust you unless you trust yourself, okay? So let's go into these 5 shifts, okay? You guys ready to learn the 5 things that I switched so that I could catapult to 6 figures? And these are also things that you can start to do. You might need help with that, but these are the 5 things you need to start thinking about if you really want to eventually make this a full-time income. So let me know who here, do you guys want to know what these 5 things are? Say shifts in the chat. Drop the word shifts, SHIFTS. Drop shifts in the chat if you want to know these 5 things. Is that why you're here today? You guys want to know, are you seriously consider taking your business to the next level, to 6 figures, to $10,000 months, to $20,000 months? Drop the word shifts in chat. You guys want to know? You guys there? You still there? Or am I just talking into the universe? You guys still there? Let me know you're still with me here. I know it's Tuesday. Hopefully you've had your coffee. But do you guys want to know these things or no? Because if I don't get a response, I'm going to assume this is a no or not interested. Do you guys want to know these 5 things? You guys still there? Yep. Give me, come on guys, let me know you're alive. Come on. This is not good enough. This is not good enough for me, guys. Come on now. How you show up here is how you show up everywhere. So if you sit back and watch this like TV, that's probably how you're trucking through life, right? Are you just trucking through life, just sitting back, not engaged, right? Are you going through life just sitting back? Guys, get engaged, get out there, like start speaking up, start asking for what you want, say yes, start demanding what you want. Okay, this is a good time to practice doing that. Yeah, so guys, like let's focus here now. Let's focus, right? This is a time to really listen now, because if you're serious about taking your talent or gift and scaling it, these things have to happen. These things have to happen. Okay? So for the first thing, and for those of you watching the replay, the first thing is your offer has to be high ticket. And it has to be compelling. It has to be irresistible. Meaning your client realizes when you're talking to them that they're not going to be able to go anywhere without you. That's when you become irresistible. And I talked a little bit about this last week, is that you must have an offer that is premium, that is irresistible to the right person. That has to happen. If you are a generalist, if you're charging like a certain flat amount for everybody, that's going to keep you stuck. That's going to keep you paycheck to paycheck. Okay. So one of the first shifts I made, one of the first pivots was that I stopped selling low ticket. I raised my prices and I started focused on creating a higher value product. Okay. So that's number one. Stop selling low tickets, start selling premium. Okay. And if you need help figuring out how to create a premium offer, a high ticket offer, I'll be running a boot camp here in June, coming up pretty soon. But this has to happen. And if you feel uncomfortable about raising your rates, then that needs to be addressed. Because it's not just about jacking up your prices. That's what was keeping me stuck. Was like, I can't just jack up my prices. Like, that's not really fair, right? So part of it is really filling in the gaps so that your program, it feels like a high ticket offer. It feels like a $6,000 offer. It feels like a $10,000 offer. It's got to feel that way to you so that you can translate that to your audience. Okay? Number 2 is that you must have an online audience, or a tribe, if you want to call it that. You must have an audience online. If you want to scale to 6 figures and even multiple 6 figures, you will have to branch out from your local zone. I used to have an in-person hypnosis business where I only served local, and that's going to limit you. So you want to branch out online where you can, where more than 1 or 2 or 10 or 15 people can get to know you and know your value. Okay, so this can look like an email list. This can look like a Facebook group. This can look like Instagram, right? This can be anywhere where you house an audience that you regularly speak to. So that's the other thing. You have to be in regular communication. You can't show up some weeks you're not. It doesn't work either. Okay? So I'm telling you, these are the 5 things that had to happen that I was avoiding. I was avoiding these things. Maybe some of you guys are avoiding these things because there's a fear. Maybe a fear of putting yourself out there, a fear of not being able to deliver client results, a fear of not being able to make it full time, or is this even possible to do full time? Right? I was avoiding this because of all of these things, right? So first thing you need is a high ticket compelling offer for the right ticket, the right premium customer, for a premium customer. Okay. You need an online audience. Again, this can vary where your audience is, how you communicate with them, whether it's, again, email, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. You need to be able to branch out and for more people to get to know you. Because it's all about volume. It's all about volume. Okay? Number 3 is you have to have confidence in yourself that you can deliver what you're promising. Oftentimes I see people promising things that they really can't deliver, that they don't feel confident in, and people will feel that. So do you right now? In fact, let me ask you guys, like, let's do a quick poll here. How many of you guys actually feel like you can deliver your client results? Like, let's get honest with ourselves here for a minute. And let's find out if maybe we need to do some healing work here. Do you guys watching honestly believe that you can deliver your clients' results? Put yes or no in the chat. Like, really dig deep here for a minute and say, do you honestly believe you can help someone? Put yes or no in the chat. And this is the question you got to answer. That's going to let you know whether maybe you need to pivot to a new niche, or maybe you need to change what you're teaching. Okay? So put yes or no in the chat. Like, yes, I know I can help people with what I'm teaching. Yeah, so as long as you're in front of the right person. I like that, Caroline. Yeah, good. So good, you're in the right niche then, as long as you have the right client. Okay, perfect. So you also, and that's where the confidence is going to come from. The confidence is going to come from you knowing that you can help them. That's going to translate on your calls. That's going to translate on your social media. That's going to translate in your emails, because you don't want to come off shaky or uncertain. You can have all of the sales processes in the world. If you are uncertain, people will pick that up. Okay? Number 4, you need to know how to sell. And I know already, as you guys are watching and some of the people watching this replay, you're like, oh God, I do not, I hate sales. I don't like selling. I don't like pitching prices. I don't like doing all the stuff. Here's actually where I started. Here's actually the first shift I made to even make it to 100,000. Even before I left my job, I made it to 100,000 before I left my job. Did you guys hear that? Before I left my full-time job to do hypnosis full-time, I had made it to 6 figures. And I'm on track to do multiple 6 figures this year. And why? Why did I hit that before I left my job? Was because I learned how to sell. I learned how to sell in an authentic way. Learned how to sell high ticket. Let me clarify that. Learned how to sell high ticket and premium. I'm not talking about selling a $1,000 program. I'm not talking about selling a $2,000 program. I'm talking about learning how to sell 6,000 and above. If you are avoiding learning how to sell, you will struggle paycheck to paycheck. You will struggle and battle with time and money objections. You will continue to do all of the things that I talked about in the first half of this video. If you do not make learning the art of sales and enrollment a priority. Okay? And that's a lot of the work I focus on with my clients, is how to convert people over the phone. Because that's a whole nother ballgame, right? There's a strategy getting people on the phone, and then you got to get them off the phone into a program, right? So I buckled down and spent 5 years really learning how to sell high ticket. Okay? So that may be one piece you're missing. How many of you guys here are confident that you can close the right person? Like, you know you can. If they're in front of you, you can close them for 6,000 and above. That's what we're talking about, your premium and high ticket. Because you're going to struggle selling anything lower than $1,000. You really are going to struggle, if you want to be full-time, selling something less than $1,000, okay? So you're going to need to increase your prices, okay? And that is number 5 here. Okay? And oftentimes when I say this, clients are like, "Oh no, I can't. I'm scared." In fact, I see a lot of my clients may cave on this, and I caved on it the first few times. Do you see that yet? So can you sell to that one person who needs what you have? So a lot of you guys are out there or are avoiding becoming marketers and learning how to do sales. And that's why you're not full-time. And this is what kept me having a side business, was that I didn't want to become a marketer. I didn't want to learn sales. But here's the thing. Until you swallow this pill, you will always have to rely on someone else for marketing and sales, which will be your boss, basically, which will be the company that you're working for. So either you can stick with your full-time job and let them give you clients, right? And work for them. Or you pick up where you're going to leave off when you leave, and learn how to sell, and learn how to market, and learn how to write good copy. Because now you're running a business. And running a business is not just about doing the healing work. I wish it was. I wish it was. Wouldn't it be awesome if we could just show up and do what we love and get paid for it? But none of that matters if you don't have everything else before that built up. You guys see what I mean? Do you guys feel confident in your marketing? Do you guys know you can like bring in clients on demand? Clients on demand. And that's where a lot of holistic healers fall short. So these are the 5 shifts. And as I'm going through these again, which guys, go ahead and drop in the chat, where do you need to pick up the pieces so you can catapult yourself to 6 figures? What pieces do you have to pick up? Is it that you need to learn how to sell? Is it that you need to learn how to do proper marketing for yourself? Not for someone else, not for a job, not working for someone else, for yourself, to market your gift and your skills. Is it that you need an audience? Do you need an audience online? Do you not have anybody to talk to except your personal Facebook? That's where I was at. I had nobody to talk to but my personal Facebook. And the fastest way to lose credibility is to just throw up all over your personal Facebook. So which one is which ones, where do you need to pick up the pieces so you can catapult yourself to 6 figures? Is it to know how to, is it in developing a compelling offer? The right high value, the high ticket offer for your perfect customer and client? Which ones is it for you? And for those of you watching the replay, drop it in the chat. Because these 5 things were the 5 things I was avoiding, were keeping me relying on a job. But as soon as I decided, it's time to really get serious. It's time to create a business. It's time to run a business, not just do hypnosis. If you just want to do hypnosis, your options are to keep it a hobby or to work for someone else who has created the business, right? You could partner with someone who's created the business. Or you will have to learn how to market. You will have to learn how to sell. And you will have to build your online audience. Yep. And you need an offer that you can sell over and over and over again to the right person. It's not about, well, I can charge that person this much, I can charge that person that much, I can charge. No, one offer. And that's it. You're not caving in on your price for certain people. This is what you sell over and over again. Now, you can always scale it. You can always deliver it in different ways when you scale. But for now, these are the 5 things that you need. You must be willing to raise your price. In fact, I don't work with people unless they're willing to raise their price. I don't work with people who are not serious about raising their prices. It's scary. I get it. But you know what? The successful people, they feel the fear and they do it anyway. They feel the fear and they do it anyway because what becomes even more scary is staying where you are. Okay? You need that offer. You need to raise your prices. You need an online audience. You need a tribe, community, whatever you want to call it, that trusts you, by the way. You can't just have the community. They have to trust you, and that's built in a certain way over time. You got to put yourself out there with congruence and confidence. You can't be uncertain, shaky, questioning yourself when you're in front of people or writing blogs and emails. And you have to know how to sell. You got to. This was the first skill I dug deep into. I had a private coach for this. I had to have a private coach for this because the holistic healing world does not teach you high ticket sales. They do not teach you. I've never met a holistic healer I could learn that from. So I had to go out of my way and find someone outside of the holistic healing community to learn how to sell programs that were 6,000 and above, which is why I do what I do, to bring this into the community and let holistic healers know that you can sell a weight loss program for 6,000 and more. You can sell a stop smoking program for 6,000 and more. You can sell a confidence program or a self-esteem program for 6,000 and more. But it's all about your marketing. It's all about your angle. It's all about the value you provide. It's about having the audience to talk to. You need that first, right? So if you need help with this, these are all of the things I run holistic healers through to help them build so that you don't have to pump money into ads and lose it, okay? And spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 or more on ads only to get barely anything in return. Okay, so if you are looking for help with this and you're serious about raising your rates and you want to learn how to sell, right? And when I say sell, I don't mean high pressure. I don't mean sleazy or cheesy. I mean in a powerful and empowered way, and it also where it feels good on both sides. That's what I like to teach, is just let the cards fall where they may. But in order for you to feel good about that, a lot has to happen up to that point to let them decide whether to sign on with you or go to the next holistic healer or hypnotist, okay? So only if you are serious and you want help with any of these 5 things, drop the word mentor in the chat below. And again, I will reach out to you in the next 24 to 48 hours, or a team member will reach out to you in the next day or so. We'll see if what I have is a good fit for you. And if not, happy to point you in a different direction, maybe a smaller resource, a book, a training I've done, a course. But this is really for people who are like, I'm ready to jack up my price. I'm ready to turn things up. I just don't know how to do it. I don't know how to assert my value. And nobody knows who I am. Like, I feel like I'm hiding. Nobody knows who I am. We got to get you out there. So if you are serious about this and you want more help, we can find out if I can in fact help you. Drop the word mentor in the chat below for those of you watching the replay. If you feel like this was of value for you, this was helpful for you, inspired you for the week ahead, drop value in the chat. And always awesome having you guys here in the group. Post your questions in the group. If you guys are needing help with things, this lets me know what you guys are needing help with. This isn't just a community for me to talk at you. This is a community, a conversation. So I'm going to be putting up polls, Q&As, things like that. But you're allowed to post in the group as well. I don't think a lot of you know that. So post in the group, drop value if you found value out of this video. This has to happen, guys. As long as you avoid it, that's as long as it's going to take for you to propel yourself to 6 figures and beyond. So when you're really ready to get serious, drop mentor in the chat. If you got value, drop value. And I'll see you guys in the group during the rest of the week. So guys, see you. Have an amazing week. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.